So it is Friday afternoon. I've just finished work. Now I'm on my way to meet the seller. The way it's worked out is that I wasn't able to actually meet the owner before now, part due to the lockdown situation that we have with coronavirus. But the other situation is that as I bought this boat through a broker, it cut out the need to actually have that interaction with the owner. Although it would have been nice, I was hoping to actually be able to speak with him just to understand his reasons for making certain decisions in the design, get some good stories. Just in general, it's nice to meet the owner. He's put a lot of effort, a lot of love and time into this boat. So today the plan will be to get as many secrets about this boat as I can so I can understand what went into the construction process. I think now I've had maybe 2 weeks to just sit with this and think when I meet the owner the things that I want to ask him. Like, what do I even call him at this stage? The owner? Former owner? John. Call him John. John! How do you do, sir? I assume John. How are you?
The owner.
That'll be me, I'm Sean.
Sean,
Nice to meet you. I'm not too sure we can actually shake hands anymore, but...
let me tell you about it. She's all steel. There's no fillers in her.
Okay, gotcha. I was actually...
Nothing.
What was this, like just this, I didn't know if it was a different primer or just an anti-rust treatment.
I was testing out different, that was a rust eater,
Oh, gotcha, right.
then an over primer. Church Bay, Baltimore. I was on board and she dragged her anchor in a summer gale at low tide, and we went straight across between a row of boats and ended up on the rocks. And there was a school trip down visiting the lifeboat house, so the boys were there, and apparently one of the little pupils looked out the window and said, "Should that boat be on the rocks?" So they launched and pulled me off. A couple of bruises up front, no damage.
Really minor. Yeah, like you say, like just bruises.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with steel, because obviously I'm looking to her as a liveaboard, and any experience that I have in sailing has been on steel, with the exception of like small dinghies.
You see that one there?
Yeah.
The wee bit of wear on that. But you generally get about 5 years out of these.
Oh yeah?
Those are 20-year-old, so there's very little
20?
wear. Yeah. But you'll see the electrical system inside.
I saw that it was in fantastic shape.
It's totally isolated from the hull,
That would explain.
and that helps. Oh, now, the boat has oil pockets, right? Let's talk about them.
Oil pockets.
The bowsprit.
Yeah.
There's 2 nuts up there. That's filled with oil.
Oh.
The reason it's filled with oil is to stop it rusting from the inside. This here, because we couldn't shot blast in, this is filled with oil. This is the compass. There's a deviation chart below that I made. If you move these balls,
Yep.
you have to do it again, right? And there's little magnets in here. Because she's a steel boat, and she was fabricated on a north-south exit. There's about a 30-degree deviation in the hull. The hull has its own magnetic field now. So this compass is swung to that.
Gotcha.
You know?
Because even the layout, I've only seen a couple of these in general, like from any research I was doing. And the layout that I found usually was that, say, the galley was a bit shorter. The locker here, I know this one has been built dry.
Yeah.
And then other ones you'd find like there was access points here, anywhere. Now I know they're all potential problems. And then up above there would have been, instead of the head as it's positioned now, it was nearly not a V-berth. Yeah, it was something else. And was it just your own preference, yourself and myself?
It sort of was, but also experience. In heavy seas, nobody can sleep in that bunk.
That's true. Yeah.
It's useless.
Yeah.
And it ends up as a storage area.
Yeah.
You know?
So I've just finished meeting with John, and we've gone over a number of different things about this boat. one of the biggest things that I can say is that you will not get all the information on the first day. Definitely not. But he has left me with copious amounts of information, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. He has kept such incredible notes about this journey he's been on. That's the best way I can put it. So you can probably see behind me, everything is probably as it last was. Now that I've officially been signed over the bill of sale, I have the logbook, at least that's how it works within Ireland. The next step for me is just to try to organise a little bit in here. To get started, I think I'm just going to take out any of these sails, try and open up the place a bit so at least I can start to move around. Otherwise it's too much bulk in the way. There is dedicated space, but right now I'd much prefer if I could just get as much clean slate as I could. From there, get started, take an inventory list, and then I'll have my first night here in the yard. It's going to be great. Okay, let's get to it. Don't think I've mentioned this. I can't drive into the yard, so I'm just going to have to go for a nice walk a few times. That'll be good. It's off with sails I go. So, let's see, only a couple of trips. Hey, it's all good. Is anybody bored yet? So, 6 sails later. You know like this whole thing about boat jobs taking maybe 3 times longer than normal? Yeah. It's good though. It's all good. It's just one of these things of lockdown where I can see that. I can see it. But it's distance is 3 times longer on account that I can't go inside. Now to see if it's made any difference. 6 sailbags out of the way. And well, it's definitely opened up quite a bit of space. Let's clean up. Enough. Not a crazy amount that I can do, even with the sails gone. You still got these things like, sorry I say things, you still got items that just, they can't really be put anywhere except like move it from A to B. So, the likes of the wind vane, can't really do a whole lot with that. All I can do right now is say, move things out the way so I can find out what's actually there, make a note of it, and then everything is just going to have to go back in place until it can be fixed or taken out and stored. A bit unfortunate really, but look, there's not a whole lot else you can do about it. At least I know that certain other things are here, like any of these extra panels that are in there, near the extra wood. If I'm able to fit some of it, I will. If not, look, it's not going anywhere. I'd say I've been at this one locker for about an hour now. It's not a complaint. Not a complaint at all. There's a lot to go through. A lot of stuff to find. What I want to do right now is just go through as much as I can, like I was saying, and I'll just take notes and photos so I know what's there, more or less. It's just as soon as projects start to come up, it'll be a lot easier that way for me to start tracking this back. Just quickly look at a photo rather than sorting through everything. just to give an example, talking about here, electrical kit. In there is a soldering iron, electrical tape, spare switches, everything that's needed for basic repairs. It can be a little bit freaky to think just how much space there is back there. That's insane, like this entire pile. I'll definitely want to sort through things a little bit more as I get more acquainted and I get used to some actual flow pattern of work. Because of course everything is just in here. Everything. So good to know what's in there, but depending on what I find through the other lockers, I will definitely be considering how I'm going to rearrange some of these things. Just to figure out how I'm going to be able to live, store everything that I need, and be able to find it easily. It'll be important. Anyway, on to the next one. You'd never believe it. There's loads of stuff to go through here as well. I'll tell you whatever I find in the end. I think it's looking a little bit better. How about you? So at this stage I think I've been just shuffling things around for maybe 4 hours, something like that. But here is what we've got right now. So, space! A little space to actually move around. Now I can sit in both places. Oh, how delightful. One of the nice things from meeting John earlier was he said one of his favourite things to do was to be here in the winter, have that lit and just read a book. I was just like, that sounds so nice. It just sounds really pleasant. What I've been doing here the whole time, sorting through every locker, see whatever was in there, taking photos of any of the bigger containers, I guess. As I said, the engine was taken out and it was overhauled. It was due to a gearbox issue, but there are a few things here like the fuel filter, hoses, some of the electrics, a few things that just need to go back in place. My plan out of this, as I've already written everything down, I'm just going to digitize that, and from there, if I need to go and find something, I'll have the location there. So let's say I need to go and find the Whale MK5 pump. That I know right now is down here, but let's say a few months down the road I need to find it. That way I'll know where it is. All I have to do is type it onto that search and then got it. First night aboard. So you can see this is my lovely bed. And there's nothing I'd like to do more than just stay in bed all day. But, well, I guess I better sort through some more stuff. Isn't this exciting? Have to start the day off right. Here we are, day 2 of sorting through the boat. So far it's going pretty good. I'm sorting through the galley at the moment, so literally walking through same as I did for the berths, every locker, every bit of space, just to see what is in there, what was allocated to that space and what is empty or is freed up for something else. So easy enough to get started with that. Underneath the sinks we just have the bilge pumps, filter, right here would be the refrigeration unit, and behind just plates, bowls, largely empty, teapot. In here got lovely cups and glasses, and over here is more miscellaneous tin foil, things like that. Down here just your standard cutlery pots, and over here is probably my favorite thing so far. Look at this. This is a work of art, is the only way I could put this. I can't actually let it go because there is typically a panel that will be laid up here on the side of the engine, and that will be a receiver for the end of this drawer. So this is a 2-level tool chest effectively. It's amazing. Literally is everything I go through, every new space that I find, I just keep on thinking what a clever use of space. I love stuff like this, just with tiny homes, small living spaces. You have to get so creative, so well thought out as to where things go and why. You know when they say it'll get worse before it gets better? That's progress. So we are in the heads. I'm just sorting through this space here. So far, well, I've been moving around. Let's say we've got any life vests, any diving gear is way below this as well. So I'm not going to require any of that for the time being, as I'm still out in the yard. But I'll know where it is when it comes down to it. Anything else I've sorted through is just some of the older equipment that's there. realistically it's not of use to me. I'm just going to organise any of these ropes and lines, tuck them back in for the time being. All of this is really just inventory, good idea of space, and then beyond that it'll just give the place more of a, let's just say, feng shui for the time being. This is the final result. I think I'm getting better at that climb. So I guess from looking at this, from whatever I've actually been recording so far, it probably looks like it's just a bunch of fairly dull jobs of organisation and sorting. And I suppose in some ways you could put it like that. They definitely are those jobs of sorting and stock check. It needs to be done. But the one thing that I have really found just fantastic is that whenever I've gone for a walk away from the boat, that as soon as I turn around and start coming back, I look at it and I just end up saying, wow, that's mine. It's the strangest feeling to have a look at something like this and say, that's going to be my home. It's crazy. Well, I guess that kind of wraps things up for episode 2. Now, it was unfortunate that when I met John, we weren't really able to get a lot of footage from inside the boat. Really, it came down to the fact that we were moving around so much, trying to get into various places, and there was so little space. It just couldn't be done. But it was fantastic to meet him, to get some better insights into the general stories behind the boat, some of the jobs that need to be done. He was able to give me a nice understanding for what needs to be done and some of the limitations that might be in the way, and that'll all be going forward as well with the project. Now, like I said, I would do a breakdown of some of the things I found. Well, nearly everything is a useful spare. Just filled, everything filled with spares. Too many to actually count in some cases, where you're talking about kits that'll cover any of the brass fasteners, the stainless fasteners, all those put together. There are numerous spares to take care of the engine. There are secondary hoses to back up. Realistically, there was nothing humorous that I could add in here. There was nothing that I could add and say, oh, I found this thing, I had to throw it away. There was some old bottles of water. That was it. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Next time we'll be going through some actual jobs on the boat and not just organisation and cleaning. Thanks a lot.